We have areas around Seattle, other parts of Washington, and the Pacific Northwest feeling the full wrath of this winter storm Maya as it's dumping heavy snowfall in the area. And in turn, we have the governor declaring a state of emergency as they're saying that these conditions continue to worsen. If you have all the snow on the ground and then you have wind blowing it everywhere, it can make for what they call these ground blizzard type of situations. And this here shows the conditions as of last night on Highway 101, just west of Morse Creek or Baker's Dip. You can see here just how bad everything has gotten. Now, we had a cold stretch that went through the United States here this past week where we saw negative temperatures hit like -40, -50, -60 in certain areas in the middle of the United States. Now, this is affecting the Pacific Northwest right now. How is it going to affect the rest of the country as it moves east? Is it going to continue to wreak havoc on these other areas that are still seeing snow and freezing temperatures right now? Yet to be seen, but we know one thing's for sure, a state of emergency declared up here because of situations like the one that you see right here. Now, to me, the number one thing someone can do out here in this day and age is stay on top of forecasting. Forecasting is the biggest thing that you can use to your advantage. Anyone can turn on the weather. You can get a bead on what's going to happen wherever you're heading. And it never hurts to stop and check the weather a couple minutes, going somewhere that has a lot of snow or has flash flooding, things of that nature. You're going to want to check and prepare. I know here recently there's been stories.
The Secretary has been addressing national security ahead of Britain's withdrawal from the European Union. Among the things he advocates is the deployment of more British Navy ships overseas. London correspondent Polly Boyko has the details.
Well, this was a speech where Gavin Williamson unveiled his future plans and ambitions for the British military. He said that Brexit is a historic moment and an opportunity for the UK, and he listed all the new gadgets and the state-of-the-art toys and equipment that he has on order. He spoke about the British military needing to increase its mass and lethality, which led to questions about how he's planning on funding increasing this mass and lethality. Take a listen.
What we've seen is the government has always been willing and ready to respond to the case for defence because we realise the priority and the importance of it.
Funding aside, the speech sounded somewhat detached from reality in other aspects as well. Gavin Williamson spoke about Brexit being a great moment in the UK's history, which sounds somewhat optimistic given the chaotic situation that the Brexit process is in right now. And he also spoke of Britain being ready to intervene to protect the international rules-based order, which seemed to completely gloss over the interventions that Britain's taken part in that haven't quite gone to plan. For example, Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, to name but a few.
The Stop the War Coalition's Chris Nynham believes the UK is aligning its military ambitions with America's.
What Williamson is doing is positioning our future foreign policy very much in close and tight alliance with Washington's. And if you read Trump's foreign policy, Trump's cabinet's foreign policy documents, what they're really doing is they're trying to switch US military concerns to trying to deal with China in particular, which they see as their main competitor. So the thing, if Britain's government kind of goes along with that trend, these kind of aggressive postures can only increase tension around the world. They can only be seen as provocative and confrontational against great powers, many of whom are armed more powerfully than we are. So this is a very odd foreign policy posture, and it's hopefully not one that will.
All right, Shalom. This is Chanaksa Anba Yashala from the GMS Lions Den Camp. First and foremost, I'd like to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Harakak Kudash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutation to the argument that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. All right. There's a lot of things going on in the world news today. Um, as you can see, the severe weather here in America, um, the UK, talking about the Brexit being a monumental thing in the history of Britain, um, and also them beefing up their military to be in alliance and line up with the forces of the United States. Basically going after China and Russia. So there's a lot of things going on in the world news today, which just shows these are just signs from the Most High Yahweh Shemi Abishai, just promoting His wrath, lining these nations up for the battle of Yahweh Shaphat. All right, and who is the front runner of that? America, Babylon the Great. All right. So the Most High is lifting up the skirts of Esau and showing them shame, showing them how they are nothing but brute beasts. All right, neither keep it at home, according to Habakkuk, but enlarges his desires as hell. All right, and is as death. As a matter of fact, let me get that real quick. All right, this is Habakkuk 2:5. It says, he also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. That proud man he's talking about is Esau. All right, it says, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desires as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. And that's just what this devil does, man. And an example of that is this article I'm about to read. And the article says 16 civilians, including 7 children, killed in U.S.-led coalition air raid in Syria. All right, so he doesn't keep at home. He's always at everybody else's borders. And enlarges his desires as hell and is as death. This is hell going on in Syria. 7 children dead, 16 civilians. That had nothing to do with what's going on over there. It's just America and the so-called white man is as hell. His desires as hell and is as death. All right, feels like he can just take whatever he wants, you know. All right, no matter who he kills, steals, and destroys. So the thief was sent down to kill, steal, and destroy. Who is that thief? Esau. All right, where's the house of that thief? America. All right, it says at least 16 people, including 7 children, have been killed in an airstrike launched by the U.S.-led coalition in the rural region of southeast of the Syrian city of Deir Zor. Syrian news agency SANA reports. The air raid targeted a residential area on the outskirts of the town of Al-Baguz, all right, in the southeastern part of Syria. And that's a residential area. This not even there wasn't even a strike on a military base or anything like that. It was a residential area. So that's just like somebody come over here and just bomb in your neighborhood. You know? And you have no way of defending back or shooting back or defending yourself. It's crazy. It says the state news agency said, citing local sources, and that's a prophecy of Yahweh by Shem Shai. Right? So you're gonna see death everywhere. The closer we get to that time, the more we're gonna see. It says the town is located in the Euphrates River Valley, close to the Syrian border with Iraq, some 128 kilometers from Deir Zor. All right. It says over the course of the Syrian conflict, al-Baghdad was captured by Islamic State or ISIS terrorists who held it for several years until it was seized by the Syrian Democratic Forces, a broad coalition of armed groups supported by the U.S. and its allies late last month. See, the thing about it is ISIS was trained and put there by the United States. And then after they put them there, that just gives them the reason to go bomb that place, man. All right, and you're gonna try to see them do the same thing in Venezuela, man, by trying to get Marduk out of the presidency and put the other guy that they want to have there. All right. All right. It says, however, the town was soon partially recaptured by the terrorists prompting the U.S.-led coalition to start bombing its outskirts. All right. So, I'm gonna put a link to the video in the description box on this. But that's just the thing, bro. America doesn't care who he destroys. You know, the so-called white man doesn't care what he destroys or who he destroys to promote what he wants, to get what he wants, like a spoiled child. Doesn't care who he hurts. It says 16 civilians. It didn't say 16 terrorists. It didn't say 16 ISIS members. It said 16 civilians, including 7 children, killed in a U.S.-led coalition air raid, man. That's him enlarging his desires as hell and his death. He doesn't care who he destroys. But the scripture said, because thou lovest blood, blood shall return upon you. You shall get blood. As a matter of fact. Alright, this is Ezekiel 35 and 3. It says, let me start at 2. Alright, Ezekiel 35 and 2. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir. Alright, and it says, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord. Mount Seir is talking about Edom. Alright. It says, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Alright. It says, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be a desolate. Thou shalt know that I am the Lord, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Just like how Esau don't care where he goes and destroys, the Most High is going to do his cities like that. Alright. Alright. And the main city is America. Alright. It says, because thou hast a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. Now that over there in Syria, they're not Israelites, but who knows? It might be Israelites over there because we're scattered throughout the 4 corners of the earth. But the point is, that's all Esau does, is go around shedding blood everywhere he goes. So he enlarges his desires as hell and is his death, man. It says, by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. All right, just like how he just sheds blood everywhere he goes, that sword's going to turn right back around on him. It says, Scripture says, he that killed with the sword must be killed with the sword. All right, and it says, pursue thee, sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. I will make the Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. Alright, so that's going to be judgment on Esau, man, for all the atrocities that he's done. He's made the whole world a wilderness. Alright, he made the whole earth to tremble. And the Most High set him up to do that, though. So you have a lot of things going on in the news, man. Even with the severe weather that's going on. I didn't catch the end part, but the end part of that clip that I played at the beginning said a man was trapped in his car for 2 weeks, stuck in the snow, before somebody could come and find him. 2 weeks. That's crazy, And it said it started over there in Pacific. That video came out February 9th. Now it's headed, just the Midwest, like Chicago and areas like that. It went through like Arctic temperatures already. Now it said it's coming back through again. Like it says, it's gonna create land blizzards. So you got so many things, and all this is a judgment of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. You got February 15th coming up, where they're gonna have to make a decision on that wall, or Trump's gonna put a state of emergency, and they've already put a state of emergency over there in I want to say Washington, somewhere over there in the Midwest, close to the Pacific, because of these severe weather changes. All right, pretty soon it's going to be martial law, man, and the implementation of the RFID chip, and then from that point it's going to lead to the missiles. So we're getting closer and closer to the end of these things, man. So that's why we got to keep pushing, keep looking at these news articles, keep watching the news, watching for these prophecies, keep studying, keep reading, keep teaching. All right, and now's the time for us to put our foot on the gas and ride out. Alright, with that being said, I want to say Kal Halayim La Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Harakak Wadash Ma'amah. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the Akim that are pushing the truth and sincerity and truth, and peace and blessings to the men, women, and children that believe in the name of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Shalom.